Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Menti, and this is episode 22 of the Squadron Shootout Season 2 tournament. This episode, we've got the World Shakers in stealth mode, apparently, because they only spawn in while it's paused when I get real close like this. For some reason, I don't know why that's different, but, whatever. Their opponent is the Grey Legion by Doom Agent. Let's go ahead and get the camera in position and get the shells flying. Yeah, thankfully they spawn in properly once the battle starts. That's good to know. Got cram shells arcing from both sides, both battleships using crams. And this flying fortress getting pummeled with airburst frag rounds. It may have lost control, I'm not sure. Yeah, it seems to have lost control already. It's going up way too high. But it's still distracting my AA at least. But it is going to get disqualified here soon if it doesn't fix itself. Down on the naval front, we've got some cram shells heading in for the Grey Legion battleship. Ended up missing. Looks like the battleship turned. Got out of the way. Ooh, the Vengeance down to 80% HP. Probably lost some of its frontal guns. Those do have a tendency of exploding quite violently. Continent Cracker's down to 90% too. Maybe. I wonder if there was some friendly ramming going on. It definitely looks like it. I mean, they're touching, but the Vengeance landed there after the explosions. Oh, the Vengeance might be going down because the Cracker is getting rocked backwards inexplicably and grinding up against the Vengeance. Now, is it just sailing backwards? It's actually just moving in reverse now. Maybe it's trying to get away from the friendly ship. Probably not a bad idea. We've got the Mother's Malice moving in here, getting in awful close. Firing some torpedoes. Or a torpedo, at least, apparently. She's going to strike that cruiser, or go right under it. That also works, apparently. And the Malice front guns. Oh, both of its guns go up at once and make it 2 damaged. And AI dead, apparently. The Cracker has lost one of its front turrets. Can't see how the rear turret's doing because there's smoke everywhere. Looks like it has some barrel damage, but is otherwise doing fine, and I just realized what I just said. So that turret's going to die soon. Should stay away from my own vehicles and stop commenting on them. Nah, I'm kidding. Oh, that shell looked like it was going right for the turret, but it actually detonated a little bit prematurely. That frigate's coming in. If it gets a ram in on the Cracker, that could be really bad. Looks like the Storm Sender's working on trying to stop it. Oh. Cracker's moving out of the way just barely. Oh, that could have been really bad. A ram like that would be awful. And the Storm Sender just bombarding with its AP frag rounds. Don't know how much this frigate can take of that. And off over here, the Vengeance is trying to finish off one of those one of the enemy fighters, but it's just doing loops and flying around crazily, and it's really hard to hit even with airburst frag. And it looks like the frigate has been too damaged. And been destroyed. The enemy the Grey Legion's battleship, I mean, they're my enemy, but you know. Try to keep the bias out of it. Oh, the Conning Cracker just, like, it has lost most of its guns. That is unfortunate. I really wish the Vengeance would stop trying to kill that one little fighter, which is just doing death spirals and being a complete distraction while accomplishing basically nothing else. Oh, it looks like the Storm Sender, though, has turned its attention on the fleet carrier. Ooh, that was a big explosion. Yeah, that fleet carrier is in a bad way all of a sudden. Oh, and now it's too damaged. Storm Sender made short work of that. Oh, and the Vengeance finally managed to land a hit on that fighter and took it down. So all that's left is the Grey Legion battleship, which is doing like an excellent job against the Continent Cracker. The Continent Cracker is actually too damaged. And just about to despawn. The Vengeance is getting a whole bunch of DQ time. It needs to get itself turned around. But it's not turning. It's just sailing off into the sunset like a friggin' idiot. Because from the depths AI. So it's going to get disqualified. Like, it's not even trying to turn. Actually, it might not have any... It doesn't look like it has any rudders to turn with. So, can't blame the AI for that one. Which means the Storm Sender, my little pocket battleship Ironclad, has to face off alone against the Grey Legion's battleship. And I can tell you right now, crams hitting the deck of the Storm Sender are going to make it a very unhappy ship. But out at this range, it is a bit difficult to hit because of its zigzag sailing pattern. Oh, and it's actually doing pretty good work at wearing down the Grey Legion's battleship with its AP frag rounds. But the Storm Sender basically has to kill this battleship to win, because otherwise I'll lose by HP if it goes to time. It won't go that long though. As soon as the Storm Sender takes a solid hit to its deck from one of those cram shells, it will just evaporate. But it is doing some bobbing and weaving, trying to avoid hits as much as possible. But if one of those cram shells does land on the deck, it is going to be nasty. So far, Grey Legion's battleship is having no luck with actually landing the hit, though. But with the Grey Legion's ship so low on the water, the Storm Sender is having issues landing hits of its own at this point. Oh, and there it went. There it went. It only took that one hit, and it's gone. So yeah, that is the end of round 1, folks. And it goes to the Grey Legion. Have to say, I'm surprised the Continent Cracker fell so quickly. It has proven significantly tankier in other matches, but that battleship of the Grey Legions is no joke. The crams on that are pretty powerful, it turns out. Very good at killing my Continent Cracker. Why are you firing airburst frag rounds at a battleship? There are much better targets. Yeah, like the Flying Fortress. Yeah, that's a good target. Whoops, I just accidentally left-clicked. Oh, just in time to see the Vengeance, the Malice, and the Cracker all deciding to hug one another. Because why would they act the same way that they do in testing? I tested my fleet against itself so many times I never saw anything like this. Oh, good job, Malice. You just torpedoed the Cracker. And you just torpedoed the Cracker again. And those cram shells are going to hit and jostle the Cracker into the Vengeance. This is a comedy of errors here. It is utterly ridiculous that a ship as big and heavy as the Cracker gets blown around like that, though. Like, some of the explosion forces in this game, particularly, it seems to me, ammo detonations, like actual ammunition blocks, not magazine detonations, just have way more energy behind them than they really should. And now the Malice is on top of the Cracker. And it just exploded and got launched over the Cracker. Because that makes sense. We got a barrage of cram shells going in on the Cracker there. Looks like they detonated a bit early. The Grey Legion battleship got some gun damage on its forward turret, but its rear turret is, well, just took a little bit of barrel damage. A little bit more barrel damage. I was about to say it only has barrel damage. And it took some more. Oh, and now it just took a hit direct to the face. But it still seems to be functioning, so that's a good thing. Oh, and we've got the frigate coming in trying for another ram, and once again, Storm Sender trying to run interference, trying to prevent it. Last time it wasn't able to stop the frigate from getting close, but the Cracker was moving, and thus the ram was unsuccessful, but this ram is going to happen. It's caused a bit of friendly fire. The Storm Sender managing to hit the Continent Cracker with a couple of shells there. Yeah, that ram was a lot less effective than it could have been. That could have been much worse. Now the frigate seems to have gone dead in the water. It's actually AI dead. Oh, the Malice died at some point. I didn't catch that. Yeah, Grey Legion battleship having buoyancy issues once again. Looks like the Vengeance is firing, or is that the Storm Sender? I think that's the Storm Sender, actually. The Vengeance is off chasing aircraft again. Yeah, taking out this battleship is definitely a good idea. That thing is dangerous. But it keeps sinking to, like, just under the water's surface with just enough above that it's not... Oh, it is actually gaining DQ time. It's just not 80% health yet, so it can't get an 80% in sinking despawn. Looks like one of the fighters. Yeah, it's over there. You can see it. It's too high. It's gaining some DQ time. But it's managing to, it's just kind of flying around and occasionally goes a little bit too high, gains a few seconds, and then comes back down. Oh, but I think it's about to, yep, there it goes. Kaboom. Let's hope Vengeance is facing the right way this time. No, it is not. But it actually has rudders to turn this time, so maybe it won't actually get disqualified. Oh man, the cruiser, if that cruiser was firing on the Storm Sender would be in so much trouble. Its rear armor is paper. But it seems very intent on killing the Continent Cracker, which is tanking much better this time. I get the feeling it may have taken some significant friendly ramming damage in the earlier round, when the Vengeance, like, got smacked back into it. And the Grey Legion's battleship has fixed its buoyancy issues, but is doing poorly on HP. It only has a couple of guns available. What is it firing on now? Oh, is it firing on the Storm Sender? Because that would be bad. The Storm Sender does not have the capability to take cram hits from an enemy. Storm Sender has decided to engage the enemy cruiser. Which, wow, it's actually doing some serious damage. Oh, it has changed targets back to the Grey Legion battleship again. Continent Cracker has sailed past the opposing battleship and is not doing so well. Like, all of its guns are gone. But it is doing okay HP-wise, all things considered. Whoops, I keep accidentally left-clicking. Dang it. What's the Vengeance doing out here? Oh, I think it's fighting the fleet carrier. Yeah, that's the Grey Legion fleet carrier. Those airburst frag rounds are probably able to do a little bit to that. But the Sabo, those Sabo will definitely get in there and do some damage. Or they'll just bounce off the deck. That also works, apparently. Oh, we've got an 80% sinking on the Grey Legion battleship, it looked like. And the fleet carrier is about to fall, and the cruiser is focusing on the continent cracker. Oh, I just realized that my fleet is out of materials. So that will make the cracker much more fragile, but the storm sender is on the job, and the DPS of that ship is no joke. Grey Legion's cruiser taking hit after hit. Man, those cruiser's missiles are pretty nasty. Doing significant damage to the cracker with each missile strike. Might actually manage to kill it. Looks like the cruiser went for a little flight there. Maybe an ammo detonation. Yeah, it looks like its guns detonated. The Vengeance is trying to sail in and get in on the action. It's moving a bit slowly with, you know, a giant chunk of its bow missing. Oh, looks like the armor on the turret barely saved. Like, oh, the gun is actually damaged. That forward Sabo gun. As is the rear one. So at this point, it's basically just the Ironclad that's continuing the fight. And the cruiser is just about done. Just a couple more hits. We'll end it. And it doesn't even have any weapons, so I really guess I should just call this match now. But it's 2 damage, so yeah, that is going to be the end of the match, with the World Shakers winning round 2. So we'll get round 3 set up here. And get the battle underway. See how this round goes. I wonder what is the frigate targeting right now? Looks like it's targeting the cracker. And once again, the cracker immediately turns and runs into the Vengeance. I would appreciate it if they would not do this. And why is the Vengeance's guns, like its AA guns, are not firing on the aircraft? It's just sitting there, not doing anything. This game sometimes. And now the Malice is going to just, you know, do the same thing. And then the cracker somehow gets knocked around by, you know, explosions and stuff like that, which does massive damage to the Vengeance. Makes no sense that the cracker gets pushed around like that. But, you know, from the depths. Oh, and the Malice just managed to torpedo the Vengeance. So that's a thing. You can tell I'm terribly enthused about this. Oh, so much damage being done just by friendly ramming and impacts. Oh, now that torpedo's gonna hit the cracker. Oh, it actually looks like it went under it? Will torpedoes avoid friendly ships by, like, using the ballast to go under them? So that's what looked like just happened. I mean, there's the torpedo, yeah. What are those torpedoes targeting, I wonder? Probably the battleship. It would be nice if the Mother's Malice could get a chance to do its job and torpedo the enemy heavy ships, but the first two rounds it didn't really get the opportunity for that. It kind of exploded really early. Oh, the Cracker lost its rear turret completely. The Malice is getting its torpedoes off, which are... Oh, wow. The cruiser, the Great Legion cruiser, went skyborne again. Seems to have a tendency of doing that when its weapons cook off. Both times the come and see it and the weapons are gone. Or, well, the guns anyway. That torpedo coming in on the Great Legion battleship didn't really do a whole lot. That thing is pretty durable. The issue is once that hull does get pierced, it starts having serious buoyancy issues, and that torpedo just barely missed. Looked like it might hit... Oh, it's coming back around, and nope, it missed there too, so now it's going to hit the cruiser instead. Slingshot maneuver, apparently. Oh, the frigate took some serious damage. Looks like it's under bombardment from the Storm Sender Ironclad, and it is now 2 damaged. So all that's left is the cruiser and the battleship of the Grey Legion. Both of which, well, the battleship seems to be fine, but the cruiser is not doing so well. Another barrage of torpedoes away at the Grey Legion battleship. Which once they open that hull up, I don't think this battleship will be particularly happy. It's already not particularly happy. It is quite low in the water. The Malice and Vengeance cruising together, doing some teamwork. This gun, the short barrel, so the shells are just flying everywhere. Oh, looks like the battleship may have gotten an 80%. Oh, it was temporary. The 80% sinking went away. Oh, but now it's back again. Is it gonna stick this time? Well, it's got some torpedoes coming in to help make sure that it does. Oh, the 80% in sinking disappeared at the last possible second. Oh, it looks like the battleship is actually firing on the Malice. It's not the worst idea, honestly. It's a pretty fragile ship that has a lot of firepower. Oh, but now the battleship has finally sunk. Of course, as soon as I look away, it sinks. And now the cruiser is 2 damaged, so that is going to be it for the Grey Legion. It has been defeated, and will be going down to the losers bracket, while the World Shakers will be moving on to face the United Colors of Freedom. So yeah, first round didn't go so great for me. Went great for Grey Legion. Big difference when the Mother's Malice actually survived and got to do its thing There was a pretty big difference in the outcome of the battle. So yeah, all that ramming and stuff early on, just not great. Not great at all. For me, anyway. But, you know, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.